Today's video is probably going to get me fired up. It's really juicy. The topic is why I talk about money and why you should care. Welcome to my channel, Watch Her Rise. My name's Liza Lounsbury, and this is going to be a very juicy conversation. And I want you to stick around because after I get through the meat of the talk, I'm going to give you 4 things you can do starting today to help improve your financial reality. And actually, I'm going to add a 5th one on that's going to be a bonus to help you make at least $1,000 in just 5 days. So hang around for that. You don't want to miss it. So why do I talk about money? And why should you care? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't set out to become someone who talks about money all the time. In fact, I've been a nurse for 20 years. I went to school to become a nurse. I got my master's in nursing. I worked in education. I worked in intensive care, ER. I have been in leadership. But here's the big, deep, dark secret. Despite the fact that my husband and I were earning good money, we were drowning in debt. I'm talking over $250,000. We just were not getting anywhere. And so by 2020, I made the decision that we were going to be done with that. I wanted to live in abundance. I wanted to let go of the scarcity and lack. I wanted to overcome my fear of finances. And I wanted to create wealth that would change generations in our family. Because as someone who grew up watching my mom settle for less than she desired her entire life, my husband in a very similar situation, watching his mom go a month at a time just eating eggs because that's all she could afford, we wanted to do something different. So I became determined to break the generational cycles. My mom also died an early death. She dealt with her depression and anxiety with alcohol. There's so many things that I want different for my life, especially because now I'm a mother. I have 2 children and one of them is a girl. And so I am here to show her what it's like to shift, to change, to grow into something so that you can become more, so that you can earn more and ultimately give more, because that's what makes this world a better place. And so my dream is that with this business that I've been able to grow and create into 6 figures, and my dream is to grow it into 7 figures, is that I can give back. I already am giving back, and it's absolutely an incredible feeling. And so the more that I can help women learn about finances so that they can become more, earn more, and give more, the better the world will become. And so the more that I learn about money, about the real mechanics of what it takes to build wealth, the more fascinated I become. And it's not in a let me show you my spreadsheets kind of way. I'm fascinated because it's simple, like shockingly simple. You can build real wealth with little time and minimal effort. And I know that might sound like a sales pitch, but stay with me because that's not why I'm here. Because here's where it gets interesting. Nobody taught us about money. Money's not taught in school. We know what's taught in school: dividing fractions, the periodic table, how to diagram a sentence. But how to actually manage your life, pay your bills, take care of your family, grow up, contribute to society? So where do we learn it? And excuse me. If you want a really good book, I usually have it right here in front of me. It's not here right now, but the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad is absolutely fascinating when it comes to learning about what it's like to discover money and what it really is, and what it's like to grow up in a rich family versus a poor family or a middle-class family. That book I highly recommend. It will open your eyes. And if you have children, listen to it on audiobook with them. That's what we've done, and it's been a game changer in our household. So we learn about money when we grow up. We learn about it from our experiences. We learn about it watching the adults around us, how they spent. We learn about money by listening to how they talk about money, about how we can't afford that, or that will have to wait, or we need to make ends meet, or what makes you think that I can afford that, or have you earned that? All these things, if you've got parents that fought about money, if you grew up in Section 8 housing and you were surrounded by payday loans buildings or liquor stores, or watching your parents pay for groceries with their checks, what are they called? I'm drawing a complete blank. Is it welfare checks? EBT card. So if that's what you're exposed to, those are the neural connections that are made in your brain in regards to money. And so here's the kicker. This is why rich families stay rich. Middle class families stay middle class. Families stay in poverty. It has nothing to do with intelligence, work ethic, or moral superiority. It has everything to do with identity and how you identify as yourself. That's what's been role modeled for you growing up. And so typically, the people that we hang out with are in the same financial situation that we are. And so if you've never been around someone that's truly wealthy and been mentored by them and paid attention to how they live, and instead have been around people that are not wealthy and heard things like, oh my gosh, how obnoxiously huge is that house? Even if I had that much money, I'd never spend it on a house like that. Or you've heard people say things like, they must come for money. That's got to be their parents' money. Like, first of all, why does it matter? And so these are beliefs that are ingrained in you that are creating your experience with money, your relationship with money. But at the end of the day, you can talk to anyone, like the Myron Goldens of the world. He wrote the book From Trash Man to Cash Man. I just drew a blank. Jamie Kern, the woman that worked at Denny's and then wrote the book Worthy. She's the one that came from nothing and now is a billionaire. You can speak to them and they will all tell you the same thing, that your bank account has nothing to do with your resume. And I'm going to say this a little bit louder for the people in the back. Your bank account has nothing to do with your grades in school, whether you have a degree, how smart you are, the way you look, how hard you work. It doesn't matter. It has everything to do with your identity. There's a study out there, and Jim Rohn was the first one that really introduced this concept. But if we were to take all of the money in the world and we divided it evenly amongst the rich class, the middle class, and the poor, so everyone had the same amount, within a short amount of time, money would end up back in the hands of the people that it started with. The rich would find a way to magnetize it back to them. The middle class would find a way to have just enough to pay their bills and accrue some debt. The poor would find every way possible to give it away to the rich and the middle class. It's all to do with identity. This is why people that win the lottery that come from poverty blow it in a few years. This is why famous NFL, NBA players that become millionaires, when they stop playing, they have nothing to show for it. They've got 12 fast cars, 3 big homes, 6 divorces, and no cash. Because it's how you identify. And so this comes down to our subconscious brain. It comes down to our nervous system. We have things like our default mode network. We have our reticular activating system. And so until those are reprogrammed, until you dig deep into that and think, what do I think about money? How do I associate with money? If I got a bonus check of $20,000 right now, what would I do with that? Would I think we're going to go out and celebrate and eat dinner? That's blowing it. Or would you think I'm going to invest this in a high yield savings account? Or better yet, as a business owner, I'm going to invest this in a coach. I'm going to make this money work for me. Or I'm going to go buy my kids all new shoes. I'm going to schedule a trip for spring break. I'm going to surprise everyone at Christmas. Spend, 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 spend. Because if your nervous system, if you're subconscious, if you don't identify as someone who has overflow, you will spend it. You will get rid of it to come back to your baseline. Everyone has a baseline income that they're used to and a ceiling for their income that they're used to. So if you're used to having no more than $5,000 per month, when you hit that first $10,000 month, you're going to take $5,000 of that and figure out a way to get rid of it so that you're back to the $5,000. And then you're going to feel frustrated. How come I never have enough money? So you got to shift your identity. So if you identify as someone who struggles with money, you will struggle with money. If you identify as someone who has just enough, you will always have just enough. If you identify as someone who has more money than you know what to do with, guess what? You do. And all three of these can be true regardless of how much you earn per month. It has nothing to do with how much is coming in the door, as I've just demonstrated a few times. In fact, I've got clients that earn $250,000, $500,000 a year who are broke, have nothing in savings, have no retirement saved up yet. They are living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt because everything they had, their big house, their cars, their children are going to private school, everything is loaned, everything is borrowed. And so their entire paycheck every month goes to credit card companies, loan companies, the mortgage company, the boat loan. They don't have anything. So that if they lose their job, they lose it all. They're terrified when they open up their credit card statements. They're terrified to pay me a couple $1,000s to work with them as a coach. Can you imagine that? Making $250,000, $500,000 a year and not wanting to or feeling comfortable spending $2,000 to work with a financial coach? So that's where I used to be. So there's no judgment here. And in fact, when I hired my first coach, I paid her in full $5,000. It was the biggest shift in my identity I'd ever made. But look at me now. Just 5 years later, I no longer trade my time for money. I'm not working 9 to 5. I have my own business. We have wealth. Our children's college is being paid for. Our cars are paid for. This is the identity of living in abundance. This is repairing and healing the generational troubles with money that my family's had forever. So I don't want you to be terrified of bills. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bonus thing right now. Every time you pay your bills, don't think about it like, oh my gosh, our electric bill cost us $250 this month. Oh my gosh, no. Think about it like, I got $250 worth of Wi-Fi, worth of lights, worth of heat, worth of air conditioning, worth of TV, sound machines, microwave. That's what you got. You're not getting rid of $250. You got all that stuff. Because I also have clients that are earning just like $60,000 a year. And they're getting by just fine. They pay their bills every month. They have no debt. And so they want to learn how to increase their monthly income. They want their business to grow. They want to create savings, but they're not in crisis mode. Same system, different identities. So understand your beliefs. What are those 3 letters in the middle of the word belief? L-I-E. They are lies. I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. Your beliefs about money are inherited. They're borrowed. They're handed down like an old coat you didn't even know that you're wearing. It's like fish in the ocean. When you ask them, how's the water today? They look at you and go, what water? They're so surrounded by it and so used to it, it's literally a part of their being that they don't realize that is their reality. And so your beliefs from hearing your parents or other adults or maybe your friends saying that rich people are greedy, that rich people, force us to pay taxes. None of that's true, but it's keeping you small. Money amplifies who you already are. So if you're a giving person, because my hope with my business as helping women learn how to become more so you can earn more, so you can give more. Because giving is what makes this world a better place. And that's what it's all about. And we've got businesses all over online now that are hitting multiple millions. And my goal is to encourage, empower, to take that money and give back, to turn it into philanthropy. So, your reality is simply what you say it is. Realities are made up. It's based on your past. Your reality, because humans by this day and age are so distracted and disconnected from our higher levels of conscious that we are not living in the present moment. We are not, I shouldn't include myself in this because I've done so much work personally, internally, spiritually, becoming enlightened, knowing that the only moment that we have in time is now. And so your reality right now is most likely based on your past experiences, your prior experiences, and those you have yet to experience. So you're living in the past and the future, and that's why you're stressed, because stress doesn't exist in the current moment. Stress only exists when you resist being here because you're worried about there or there. Stress only exists because the voice in your head is controlling how you feel and think, versus you putting that voice there and telling it how to think and feel. Because you, your essence, your soul, the divine part of you, the one that is unstoppable, miraculous, capable of anything, is simply awareness. And when you learn how to step back from that incessant voice that's going all day, every day, this dialogue in your mind, it plays both sides. It can ask the question and answer the question. When you step back and start paying attention to that, you'll realize your reality is not the reality. It's what you've created, which is why two people can go to see the same movie and have two totally different experiences. One can be moved to tears. The other one can say that was the dumbest hour and a half of my life. Same movie, different realities. Okay? There is no universal, this is just how money works for people like me. There's only the story you've been telling yourself and the story you've been living into. So stories are that dialogue in our head. We take a simple situation, and rather than stating what it is, today is Friday, I am recording this video, we add a story to it. Today is Friday, and I've only signed one client this week. And if I don't sign 5 more clients, I'm not going to hit my goal. I'm just making this up so that you can kind of see what I mean when I say that we add stories. Is any of that stuff relevant? No. Is any of that stuff helpful? Is that going to create more abundance for me, or is that going to add to stress? So pay attention to those stories. Step back and listen what's going on between here and here. Challenge it. Question yourself. Because I want you to do something right now. In your mind, say hello. And then yell hello. You can hear it, right? You're the one listening. The more time you spend being aware of that, the more enlightened you become, the simpler all this becomes, and the faster you build wealth. Now, I want to give you 4 steps you can take today, and then a 5th one that will help you get at least $1,000 in 5 days or less. So, I've got them on my board right here. Hopefully you can see this. The first one, figure out how much does your life cost? How much does your life cost you? Meaning, what are you subscribed to? What do you owe? How much do you charge? How much do you earn? What does your life cost you? So what are the bills that you're paying per month? All right? This is super important. Most people don't even know. I did this exercise with a client recently, and she had 17 things that were auto-debited from her account that she didn't even know existed. Subscriptions. She had 3 Netflix logins. 3 for the same house, same family. You only need 1. And when she looked back, she'd been doing this for 3 years. So you gotta know, how much does your life cost you? The second one is know your cash flow. What's coming, what's going, and when. Number 3, you want to spend less than you earn. And so you can do this once you understand how much your life costs, once you know your cash flow, and then you make it a point to spend less than you earn. And you're going to take that extra money and you're going to do one of 2 things. If you owe debt, you're going to use overflow and contribute it to your debt. If you don't owe debt, you're going to use that extra money and put it in a high yield savings account. I've got a high yield savings account right now that earns me 4.5% interest every month. I don't do anything. It just grows money. Last year I earned $15,000 just simply by it sitting in the account. But you don't want to have this in just a regular savings account. They only get like 0.5% interest. No, you need a high yield savings account. Or make sure that you're maxed out at your career with their retirement plans. If they'll match you, you want to match them. But whatever extra that you have, make it work for you. Don't say, now I've got extra, I'm going to go buy more clothes. Now I've got extra, I'm going to take my family out to eat. Think about, how can I make my money work for me so that I'm not always working for money? I'm not saying you can't buy things. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to live in abundance and overflow. You don't have to live in scarcity and lack. But at the same time, you need to be mindful about this, aware of it, not ignorant to it. Because if you don't tell your money where to go, it's going to go. That's a fact. It's going to go. It's energy. So you are either controlling the energy, or the energy is having the time of its life doing whatever the hell it wants to, being magnetized to someone else who identifies as more wealthy than you. So, the 5th thing that I want to tell you about how to make at least $1,000 in the next 5 days is I want you to consider enrolling in my challenge I've got starting November 10th. It's 5 days. We are going to be live together manifesting $1,000 in 5 days. I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to know about how money works, how to manifest it, how to create it, what it means to work from not just the 3rd dimensional reality, but the 4th dimensional reality, how to collapse time, how to shift your identity into someone that is wealthy and worthy, how to create the bridge of incidents, or allow the bridge of incidents to unfold, as Neville Goddard refers to that terminology, how to ask for it, command it, claim it, believe it, receive it. It is so much fun. The first time that I did this challenge was with another coach, and I manifested $2,444. The second time I did this with that same coach, I manifested over $18,000. The first time I did this challenge in a beta round with my own clients, they generated over $25,000 in overflow. So this is going to be the first time that I actually do it 5 days. In the beta round, I just simply gave them the steps and they executed it independently and got that much money. Imagine what you can do with the group, with the tribe, with us doing it together, doing the work actively in our time together. Experiencing the shift, experiencing the increase in your frequency, your energetics literally changing at the cellular level to increase your vibration and your frequency to align with money. It's so good. I can't wait to see on the inside. There's already 12 women enrolled, and I would love to hit the number 20 or beyond. That's my goal. So if you're one of those 20, I'm going to drop the link. Go ahead and click that, claim your spot. You'll get an email, and I will see you on Monday. And if you can't be there live, I'm recording it, and so you'll get those in your email every day. There are plenty of people that will do that as well. They've already reached out to me to say that they are doing the recorded version, so don't worry if that's you. You'll still get the same impact, but I would love for you to be there live if you can. I'll talk soon. Take care.